Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining. All right, I see Angela and James. Um, Thanks for joining, James and Danny. And Barat is here with us. And this is Louie. I'm forcing him to be here for a few minutes. He's like, I'm ready to go to sleep. But he wants to be part of this just for a minute, right? Don't you? For our animal spirit circle, we're bringing in the wisdom of animals. And so thank you for coming, and let's see if anyone else joins. We'll see here for a minute. If you'd like to just share, introduce yourself, just where you are, and if there's a special animal that has brought in an element of just unconditional love in your life that you'd like to recognize, if you would share that, your name and where you are, and an animal that really is dear to your heart. So let me start with Barath, will you share first, please?
Yeah. Hey everyone, I'm Bharat from the vegan community, and I think I've always been very attached to cats, so that's really close to my heart. And I have two cats with me. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Yes, and I guess I should say my name is Mariquita Solis, harmonic earth healer, and I'm here with little Louie, and he's going to be the animal that I say is close to my heart. We're in Atlanta, Georgia right now. Um, I'm an empowerment coach, and I am also animal ministry leader, earth care, climate healer. I'm happy to say I'm a certified climate healer. So I'm just here representing all animals, and I'm honored to lead this spirit circle. So I'm going to let Louie say goodbye. So, Angela, we'd love to hear from you.
Hi, I'm in upstate New York, and name Angela. And yes, similar to Brat, cats have been, important parts of my life. Both one when I was a child, that was with us until I went to college, and then more recently, I had two cats that were very dear, and then most recent, Tiger, who died at age 20 about a year ago. So yeah, they each had a special place in my heart. But I've had other experiences just with animals in general and dragonflies and just different beings in nature that I feel touched by their presence also.
Thank you for sharing that. Um, James, would you like to share where you're from and maybe an animal that's special with you? Just a quick share. You're muted.
Sorry, I haven't used Zoom in a while. I couldn't figure it out on my cell phone that quickly. Um, I've always bonded with cats, always. I even helped give birth to a few beautiful kittens, one of which just passed away in my arms 2 years ago, named Chester. He was a great cat, grumpy like me, but great.
Thank you, James. All right, we've got cats going here. So, Danny, we'd love to hear from you.
Did you call me, Mariquita?
Yeah, would you just go ahead and
Hi.
tell us? Yeah.
Yep, from New York. And this is my special buddy, Charlie. And we got quite a connection. I
We lost you, Danny.
so sorry about that. I was trying to show you Charlie.
Oh,
He's my special buddy. I have two cat person to see everybody, by the way. I'm like,
well, thank you. All right. Well, again, I'm Mariquita Solis, and I'm very honored to be here facilitating this animal spirit circle. Animals have brought in a lot of wisdom and calming and so many other elements into my life. And that's one reason I wanted to do this. I know that many of us feel very connected to animals, more so than the average person. So I wanted to come into this space to honor you all with your beloved connection and deep connection to animals and the animal spirits that have been part of our lives and that are part of our lives today. So this is a place of compassion and respectfulness and honoring all here. So it's a sacred space. So thank you for being here. So we just want to be mindful about sharing, and I don't really feel like I have to say much about that because I know y'all are all very respectful. So I'd love to start out with picking an animal card that will support us, an animal for this circle. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to try to hold it up here. The lotus blue butterfly, which represents a very apropos transformation, becoming, lightness, and beauty. And I mean, right now, I think transformation is something that really resonates with my spirit. I mean, I've been feeling kind of in the darkness of winter, like I've been buried under the brush. So I really am happy to choose this lotus blue butterfly. So I'd like to read a little bit, and this is from The Secret Language of Animals Oracle Cards by Chip Richards. So as the sun rises in the willow bog and creatures large and small begin their day, the subtle movements of a tiny wing pushes through the wall of hanging cocoon. From egg to larvae to chrysalis, this special being has been on a journey since the moment of her inception. All has led to this moment, and this moment will require everything she has. But the strength she builds as she breaks free is the same she will need to carry into her flight. No other being more powerfully reflects the journey of transformation than the butterfly. Philosopher Rudolf Steiner believed that while the butterfly was part of the insect family, her closest relative was actually her relationship was actually with the flower, each of equal beauty, each equal expressions of the divine, one destined to dance in the sky realm, one anchored softly to the earth. As butterfly dances towards the flower from above, flower extends herself to accept the embrace. In a moment of stillness and connection, each is made complete in the other. I am a pure expression of the universe's beauty. I am light. I am free. I have emerged from my cocoon. I am me. So I'm very honored that the lotus blue butterfly is going to share her spirit time with us here in transformation and becoming and lightness and beauty. So I'd love to invite y'all to share a special connection that you've had with an animal, a special experience that has transformed your life and that that I mean that will inspire us here in this circle. Something that you hold dear to your heart. So I just would love to hear from y'all. So think about it for a moment. Um, and I'd love to hear. James, would you like to share?
Yes, I was just thinking about Chester the cat again, and I mentioned that he had passed away in my arms, but I didn't give it any pretext or anything. He lived to be 18 and a half. Then he was looking sick. Then I found out very quickly that he had cancer, and I didn't want to put him to sleep. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I wasn't going to do it. So I was up at the vet while somebody went in and did the paperwork for me, and I said a prayer while I was holding him in my arms that he would pass away at that moment. And literally within maybe 15 seconds, he just went limp in my arms. So I never had to go into the vet where we were gonna have to do that. That was amazing. I'll never forget that.
That's beautiful.
It
And
was
I
exactly.
remember.
I'm sorry. I
Go
was
ahead.
just saying. I couldn't have I couldn't have hoped for it to go any smoother and better. I mean, it was. I don't usually pray, but I was at that moment, and I did, and literally 15 seconds later, he just went limp in my arms. Anyway, that's all I got.
Well, I would love for you to share the experience that you had told me about the other living being.
Oh, well, I was giving snacks to the occasional deer that would wander by. I live kind of close to the river, so I get a lot of deer wandering by, and basically I had given this one, some cantaloupe pieces a few times, and I recognized him. He was a young buck without a lot of horns at that point, or antlers, I mean. Um, anyway, I was in the backyard literally digging Chester's grave, and this this buck, who I recognized, of course, out of all the ones, he came up to me. I was on one side of Chester's grave, and he was on the other side. And I just got down on my knees, and we met head to head, real gently. And I was literally able to reach my arm up and take my hand and rub it through his neck and his fur. Um, it was very powerful. Yeah, I've certainly never experienced anything like that with even touching deer occasionally when they let me in. Not that I try very often, but it was just very intense because usually they're a lot more skittish than that. It was beautiful.
That is beautiful. And to know that we are supported by the animal world in our time of grief or time of need is amazing. So thank you for sharing that. Would anyone else like to share a story that they've had with an animal?
Um,
Dan-
I could
Oh,
share.
okay.
Well, I'll go quick and then Danny can go.
Okay.
Um,
No rush.
Yeah, so what James shared definitely resonated for me. Both things, both having had a few different cats that, I've seen them come to the end of their life in different ways. And one particularly sweet cat that unfortunately was outside and got picked up by a dog, a shepherd, German shepherd, and shaken, and he ended up being paralyzed, and kind of, it was just heartbreaking just watching him after that. He lived about a week longer, and it was just clear he wasn't going to regain functioning. And kind of like James, I was hoping that if it was his time to go, he would just go because I didn't want him to suffer, and I was coming to the time where I was going to have to decide if I was going to have him euthanized. And he did. One night, like, all of a sudden I felt lighter and felt like something present. And then the next morning I got a call from the vet that he'd passed away, probably around the time that I felt that, lightness and presence. And it's just amazing how they touch our lives. And as far as deer, we have a lot of deer around here. I've never had an experience like James, though. So that's something.
That's beautiful. that lightness, and that connection is so powerful. Thank you for sharing that. And Danny?
So I have a short story about a cat that I named Sachi, who I was walking up Third Avenue, and this was probably in the 90s. And let's see, because I had him for about, I think he crossed the 20-year mark. Anyway, it was this little black kitten that crossed my path and went into an alcove. And I was like, black cat, oh boy, I better take him home. And somebody in the area quickly got a cat carrier for him. He took him to the vet, took him home. And I swear to God, it feels like he was my soulmate. I felt so connected to him. He was my spoon cat. He always knew when I needed him. We slept on each other. It was awesome. And I was going through a crisis and a divorce, and he made it to where I got out on my own, and he stayed with me for a few years, and then, it was his time. And to this day, it's like I'm tearing up now because I loved him so much. And he was really, really special. Thank you.
That's beautiful. Oh my gosh, animals love, I mean, the love of an animal. I mean, there are no words to describe that. So thank you for sharing that. And Bharat, did you want to share?
Yeah. Uh, I think a few years back, I visited a shelter, and there was a blind cat who had been harassed and tortured by humans. Despite all he had been through, all he wanted was just love and affection. So he just sat on my lap for like an hour. And I was so it's so heartwarming to see that. His ability to seek trust and seek kindness after so much pain also touched me very deeply. He taught me about something about forgiveness and strength of a loving heart.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Yes. And for myself, I'd like to share a story that one of my friends told me about her little dog, Shanti. And I've shared this before, but it's always powerful. Shanti had gotten sick quickly and was taken to the vet. And she was told that it was Shanti's time. So she was going to have to say goodbye and allow Shanti to go. And so she stayed as they let Shanti go. And she saw Shanti's spirit rise up like a puppy and full of life again in the room. And what joy that brings me to know that she felt it, she saw it. And I remember that every time I have to let go. What a beautiful spirit of light. And for myself, after my little Mickey, my little Chihuahua passed away, I went to the energy healing, which I would go to every week. And I remember just being distraught and sitting with the energy healers. And one of them came up and said, "Do you know who just entered the room?" And I looked around to see who entered the room. And she said, "It's Mickey. Mickey's here." And the other energy healer said that he could feel Mickey here in my lap, playing and joyful with me then. And what a blessing that is. And to know that they're always with us, and that spirit of light never leaves. How could they leave? How could that beautiful spirit leave this realm that we don't even know? I mean, how immense this spiritual realm is, that they are always with us.
I always felt like Chester's little sister Keiko just died way too early. She was the most beautiful soul. She's how I truly, truly began to understand true love, I guess, in its purest form. And she lived to be 9, not 18 and a half like her brother, but she was just the sweetest, most soulful child, basically, I've ever known. And she was just beautiful. Anyway, just thinking about that real quick, so toss it out there.
Well, thank you. I mean, I want to honor all these beautiful animals. And well, I would just like to say a little prayer for them right now. If you want to close your eyes, just a quick little prayer and say, I just want to honor you, beautiful animals, all of your divine wisdom. Thank you for the gifts of sharing with with us human beings in this circle. Sometimes we're not deserving of your love, but you always remind and teach us of what a blessing life is. So we give thanks for your laughter, your joy, the ups and the downs, and the gift of you, and the sacred love that nothing ever will break apart. Amen.
Keiko, the cat I was talking about, it was always like having a 2-year-old girl, a child, but not one that ever quite learned to talk. And it was 9 years, that she lived. So it's just it's fascinating how a pet can affect us that way. Because like a human would have been talking by the time they were 3 or 4, or whatever. But 9 years, she was like, it seemed like she was always really close, but just not quite there. Thought that was unique compared to my other experiences with cats.
Yes, we have a lot of feline energy in this circle here. I honor the feline. So, all right, y'all. I'd love to do a guided visualization now to really connect with our animal spirits. And we'll allow it to be whatever it is. So if you want to just get comfortable and close your eyes, and I'm going to mute everybody real quick, I think, just so there will be quiet here. All right. So imagine yourself in a place that feels safe, breathing quietly, slowly, knowing that there's no rush. You're in this safe place that feels like coming home to yourself. Maybe it's a forest, sunlight dappling through the leaves, the smell of the damp earth, and pine needles grounding you. Feel the cool bark of a tree against your hand. Or maybe it's a beach, the waves whispering to the shore, the sun warming your skin, the salty air filling your lungs. Feel the warm sand beneath your feet. Or perhaps it's a wide open meadow, grasses swaying in the breeze, the scent of wildflowers sweet in the air. Feel the sun on your face, the soft grass between your toes. Wherever you are, breathe it in. Feel the textures, hear the sounds, smell the scents. This is your safe space. This is where you can be truly seen. Now notice a path ahead of you. It's not a perfectly paved road. It's more of a winding trail, worn by time and nature. It invites you to explore, to be curious. So you start walking. You feel the earth beneath your feet. As you walk, you decide to get really honest with yourself here, opening your heart to the spirits of the animals walking with you, those wise and gentle guides surrounding you with their love. And it takes courage to do this, to be vulnerable enough to ask for their guidance. Put one hand on your heart and put one hand on your heart and one hand as you reach out to your animal brothers and sisters. Now just listen. Don't try to force anything. Just listen for the rustle of the leaves, the chirp of a cricket, a faraway howl. Feel the air around you. Sometimes these connections are subtle, a whisper of energy. Keep walking. You'll sense a presence. It's not just seeing something out of the corner of your eye. It's a shift in the energy around you, a stillness, maybe a sudden warmth. You turn and there you feel and you see an animal, a living being. Take a breath and just be with this beautiful soul. Don't rush to label them. Don't try to categorize them. Just see them. Really feel them. See them with your soft eyes and an open heart. What's the first thing that catches your attention? Is it the way the light catches their fur? The steady gaze of their eyes? The way they hold themselves? Proud, gentle, watchful. Notice the texture of their coat. Can you sense a warmth radiating from their body? Maybe there's a scent. Earthy, musky, wild, or perhaps a subtle sweet aroma. Breathe it in. Let this ground you. Now look into their eyes. What do you see and what do you feel reflected there? Is it wisdom? Playfulness? A fierce protection? There's a depth there, a knowing that goes beyond words. They are not just an animal. They are a messenger, a guide, a part of you. Feel the energy between you. Is it a gentle hum, a powerful vibration, or a quiet stillness? There's a sense of recognition here, a feeling of coming home to a part of yourself that you may have forgotten. This is a moment of brave connection, a vulnerable opening to something bigger than yourself. Now, from a place of deep compassion, gently reach out a hand. Energetically, offer that connection and notice if your animal responds. Do they meet your gaze? Do they take a step closer? Perhaps you feel a gentle brush against your hand, a whisper of fur or feathers. This animal is here for you at this moment. They are a tangible representation of your own inner strength, your intuition, your wild and precious heart. Sit quietly and be with them. What are they sharing with you? Listen with your whole being. The answer might not come in words. It might be a feeling that washes over you, an image that flashes in your mind's eye, a sudden knowing that deep in your gut. Feel what arises. This is your intuition, your inner wisdom, your true self, speaking through this sacred animal connection. Notice how this message resonates in your body. Does it bring a sense of calm, a surge of energy, tears of recognition? Whatever it is, honor it. Just be with this animal a few moments longer. Bask in their presence. Feel the deep sense of belonging, the reminder that you are connected to someone vast and beautiful. This is a reminder that you are whole, you are enough, and you are worthy of love and belonging just as you are. And now something beautiful happens. The animal reaches out. It might be a gentle nudge with his head, a soft touch of his paw, a brush of her wing against your cheek, or perhaps a warm breath on your hand. Whatever form it takes, this is a gesture of pure, unconditional love. Feel that touch. Let it sink into your skin, into your bones, into the deepest parts of your heart. This isn't just a physical sensation. It's an energetic exchange, a transfer of wisdom, strength, and unwavering support. It's a reminder that you are not alone, that you are held, and that you are loved. Feel the truth of those words. Let them wash over you, cleansing any doubt, any fear, any sense of separation. This is a promise, a sacred bond, a reminder that you are never truly alone. This animal, this part of you, will always be there, a constant source of strength, guidance, and unwavering love. Take one more deep breath, holding that feeling of love and connection close to your heart. This is a gift, a precious reminder of your own inherent worthiness. And as you begin to gently bring your awareness back to this space, know this. This connection isn't something you have to strive for or earn or prove yourself worthy of. It's already within you. It's a part of your very being. Think of it like a thread, a strong, resilient thread that connects you to this beloved animal spirit, to your own inner wisdom, to the wild and beautiful tapestry of life. That thread is always there, even when you can't see it. even when you forget it's there. It's a lifeline, a reminder that you are held, you are loved, and you are never truly separate. So as you open your eyes, carry that thread with you. Carry the warmth of that touch, the resonance of those words, the unwavering presence of your animal spirit guide. Let them be a source of courage when you feel afraid, a source of comfort when you feel alone, a source of joy when you remember the deep and abiding connection you share with all living beings. Take a few more deep breaths. Wiggle your fingers and toes. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. Welcome back. Welcome back to the knowledge that we are all loved. You are truly and deeply loved. Well, thank you for sharing that experience with me. I would love to hear from you all if you have anything you'd like to share about your experience during that meditation, any animals that came to you, or any feelings or elements of nature that you all had during that meditation. If you want to raise your hand, if you want to share. Okay, go ahead, James. You're muted.
Mine wasn't a physical companion, but when I was 3 at the daycare that I went to, I had a daydream about a cheetah that was running 70 miles an hour, and I was impressed that that's the fastest land animal. um, so I didn't actually know the cheetah necessarily, but I guess he had my focus because ever since then I've been obsessed with cats.
So the cheetah spirit is what you're saying.
Yes, and oddly enough, I was also thinking about motorcycles that day, and I have a motorcycle and have had many, but I'm not ever a speed demon. I've never been interested in going fast on a motorcycle, so I guess that's a good thing. So a little bit of a contrast from the cheetah.
Well, yes, I'm glad you contain your cheetah energy. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, I'm going to mute you, James. There.
I mostly got very relaxed, so I just guess a long day, but I did kind of have an image of like a baby deer. I sometimes things like this, if a message is going to come to me, sometimes it'll come later, not while I'm doing it, but that's kind of, I had the kind of image of the baby deer and just being in beautiful places in nature, and it was very relaxing.
Thank you. Yes, that's a very good point. Like sometimes that's just a seed planted, and then it comes later at night, and even in our dreams, the animal will appear, or it might not even be an animal. It might be a tree or a flower. You never know, right? And these guides, these spirit guides, um, are all around us. Maybe an acorn, um, which is funny because an acorn appeared to me in a dream, and I thought about the acorn being this, this symbol of this beautiful tree, the growth of an acorn, the tiny acorn. So, but yeah, the deer, the spirit of the deer, which is so graceful and so, I mean, in tune with nature. You know, when I see the deer, the energy of the deer, I feel like the deer are always, I mean, always aware, that awareness and that elegance, um, and that strength and that gracefulness of our dear family, our dear, dear family. Yes. All right. Would anyone else like to share? I think JJ's at work, so well, I think in this time of winter, it's nice to remember the spirits of our animals that are hibernating. Sometimes we want to hibernate, or we feel like we have to get away from the chaos. And so I think about the bear and the turtles, and how the turtles dig under the leaves to go. And I think that we need that time as well. And I think about their wisdom, um, as leaders in the spirit world, to follow the lead. Um, Sometimes we must get into our cocoons like the lotus blue butterfly to take the time to nurture ourselves for the transformation. And in this winter time period, and here we're coming up on the solstice, um, a time of quiet and a time of shifting, looking towards the animals to really help guide us um, during these times. Sometimes I feel it's hard for me to shed and let go of things. And I have to remember the butterfly and the snake, who actually, the snake and the butterfly are really elements of the goddess energy in transformation and letting go. And I have to, there's always lessons for me to let go and to be outside and ask the spirits and nature to help me, even when I feel sad going out and knowing that the trees were speaking to me and saying, but look around, the trees were saying to me, I'm giving you the gifts of the leaves and the tiniest little berries, and to be cognizant of that. Um, the birds singing every day, the wisdom of the birds, and the spirituality of the air, of the songs in the air, the spirituality of song, of the songbirds in the winter, always singing and being prepared for the next season. So, all right. So since we didn't have many people here, we can share a little bit more, or I mean, we can end early also, but I wanted to say a little bit more um, about the time of transformation, and how amazing it is when we can let go and be that acorn that transforms into that oak tree, and to know that that acorn is inside of all of us, that that's who we are, right? We might not know who we are, but that's when we can really call on our animal guides, the deer, the dolphins that swim in the sky. I mean, in the sky, in the waters, with joy and laughter, and remembering that energy of all the animals, all the representations of the wisdom of animals, of the gorilla with their courage, where they stand confidently. They don't have to push anyone around. They don't have to bully anyone. They just stand with confidence and grace. I mean, these are true guides. We can always turn to our animal guides when we are feeling um, sadness or fear, and knowing that we are part of Mother Earth and we're connected to all. And the wisdom of the cats. And what would that be? What would you all say that the wisdom of the felines is? You're muted, James.
I have no idea why the window wouldn't pop up and let me mute or unmute in the right moment there. As a result of my lack of mute on my phone here, I can't remember what you had just asked me.
What is the wisdom of the felines?
Oh,
What do you see as spiritual wisdom the felines share?
obviously we could talk for 30 or 40 hours on that one, but not so much the wisdom, but just a little life lesson. You know, it's always to be smooth. Cats are always smooth, even when crazy things happen. That's not really the wisdom of the cat, but that is a little morsel of wisdom of the cat. And that's all I
Yes.
got for
Well, thank you. You know, I know cats. I think that they're very grounded. That's what I see. Cats are very grounded. They're not, no. Go, were you going to
I
say
was
something?
about to say they always, well, yeah, they always land on their feet. So there is that about being grounded.
Well, that is very true. And that's very flexible. I mean, flexibility in life. There's some wisdom right there. Flexibility and gracefulness.
They're always prepared, like you don't catch them off guard too easily. They're ready, but yeah, and you talk about the flexibility and groundedness. Our last cat, Tiger, followed me and my husband home. She had been abandoned on the side of the road out in the country when she was a kitten, and we were out walking with the dog that my husband had at the time, and Tiger was just maybe 4 months old, 3 months old, I don't know. She followed us home, and lived in this house ever since then, and then died at age 20, a happy life. And even as she got old, and couldn't get around as well, she'd like find a way to jump up onto my lap by jumping on something and then jumping on something else, whereas before she could jump so high, but she learned to adapt. They find ways.
Beautiful. Yeah, I love it. And that gracefulness about jumping and I mean, when you compare, if I think about my dog Louie, he's just jumping like spastic, you know. But cats are not like that. They're like little dancers.
Luckily, yes.
So yeah, and the way that they take care of their own and the female cats, lionesses sometimes do the hunting. I mean, they're the ones that do the hunting. They're and taking care. So, which is beautiful, of the strong feminine energy. Go ahead. Were you going to say something? Oh, okay. Yes. But anyway, I just wanted to say a little bit about the cats since we are honoring so many of them here. And let's see here. Well, since like I said, we didn't have many people to share here, we have 4, but that's perfectly quaint. And it's very honoring. I love it. So I would love to just close our circle unless someone had another share.
I was just going to say that cats rule.
I'm not surprised to hear you say that.
I say that. I say that because of that picture you gave me, of Chester, with the what used to be my Facebook picture, and him sitting next to one of my favorite Jimbos. that I use with the Dances of Universal Peace, and you put on there a little caption that says "Cats rule." So I always think of that, and it makes me smile.
Right. Yes, it's true. I did that. All right. So I'd love to close with a thank you for sharing that, James. uh, a final meditation just to kind of complete this circle. Um, so let's get quiet one more time and let's just take some deep breaths. All right. Just grounding with Mother Earth and feeling her innate wisdom surrounding us. And as we've connected with our animal spirit guides, inviting them to keep sharing in our lives. Maybe we felt the energy tonight and we're exploring more. Maybe they'll come to us in our sleep. Maybe they'll come gently with us tomorrow as we're walking down the path of life. Just feeling and honoring the wise and wild parts of ourselves. And feeling connected to something much bigger. Imagine Mother Earth beneath your feet. Feel her solid presence, her ancient wisdom. This is our home, our Mother Earth, the source of all life. Feel the energy of the earth rising up through your feet, connecting you to everything that is. Now picture all the animals on this planet, from the tiniest insects to the largest whales, from the birds soaring in the sky to the creatures burrowing beneath the ground. They are all connected in this beautiful web of life. They are our kin, our fellow travelers on this journey. Think for a moment about the animals who share your life, your companion animals, those who have come and gone, the ones that have greeted you at the door with wagging tails or purring cuddles. Feel the love you share with them, the unconditional acceptance they offer you, whether they are here in present or in spirit. They are such precious gifts in our lives. And now bring to mind the animal spirit guide that you met tonight. Feel their presence beside you, that unwavering support, that deep connection. Remember the touch, the words, the feeling of being seen and loved just as you are. And here's the beautiful truth. That same love, that same connection extends to all animals. We are part of this intricate tapestry woven together by threads of love, compassion, and shared existence. The animal spirits are not just with us in those special moments of connection. They are walking with us always. They are in the rustling leaves, the bird's song at dawn, the paw prints in the snow. They are in the gentle gaze of our companion animals, the wildness of the untamed creatures, and the giant wisdom within our own hearts. This connection is our birthright, a reminder that we belong, that we are never truly alone. We are connected to each other, to the earth, to the wisdom of the animal kingdom always. So as we close this circle, let's carry this knowing with us. Let's walk through the world with open hearts, with reverence for all living beings, and with the unwavering knowledge that we are loved, we are held, and we are part of something truly magnificent. Take one more deep breath. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. Well, I would love to thank you all and our lotus blue butterfly for holding this sacred space for us tonight. And knowing that we are in the process of transformation and that her spirit is surrounding us and watching out for her as we go on our daily path, knowing that she is around us always, along with all the felines. So thank you all so much for coming. I really appreciate this sacred space. And tonight I'll be dreaming about butterflies and felines, and I don't know who else will appear.
Thank you. Sorry, I was working and couldn't talk, but I was listening in. It was awesome. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And thank you, James and Angela and Barat.
Neo was listening too. He was excited, and the cats.
Oh, well, that's, yeah, of course, how apropos. This has been a cat spirit circle. Louis tried to turn it into a canine spirit circle, but he was outnumbered.
You know how they are. The cats take over sometimes.
Yes, the big cat.
As they should.
Don't say that to Louis.
No.
He knows.
All right. Huh?
Louis knows. He knows the cats are superior. He gets it.
That's right. He's secure in his doghood.
All right. Well, thank you all so much, and carry on the wisdom of the canines and the felines and the butterfly lines and all of Mother Earth.
Thank you.
Right. Namaste, vegan, everyone.
Good morning.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Night.
Good night.